Coach, welcome back. You ready for questions?
I'm ready, Robert. Just one note, Nick Chubb will be out there today, so good to get Nick back on the grass. And I will take any questions.
Questions, guys? Mary Kay, we'll go to you.
So, Coach, how good is it to get Nick back and to know that this was not a long-term thing, kind of a relief to you, and what kind of a little boost is that for you?
Yeah, I mean, with injuries with all of our guys, we want it to be as quick as possible for them, for their health. And obviously Nick being no different. So followed all the protocols. He's feeling good and excited to have him back out there.
Thank you.
Dan Lobby.
Hey, Coach, we're supposed to talk to Andy Janovich at some point today. Why is the fullback so important to your offense?
Well, I think once you talk to Andy, you'll get a feel for what a fullback looks like and sounds like. I just think it brings a level of toughness, obviously. I also think there's a versatility to that position and what you can do with them in the run and the pass game. I think it can help dictate certain looks that you want to see from the defense. So I just think it's a nice utility piece for us.
Thanks.
Scott Patrick, you're up.
Hey, Coach, is Jamie Gillen going to be back today?
He will.
Okay. And with Kevin Johnson, obviously it seems like really good news that he's out of the hospital so quickly. And it sounds like there's a chance he can play. How encouraging is that?
It is really good news that he's out of the hospital. Spoke to him yesterday. He's doing really good, doing really well, I should say. But we're going to take it week to week. I'm going to listen to the doctors and the trainers on this one.
Thanks.
Tony Grossi, you're next.
Real quick, and then I got my main question, but should we assume that there's no procedure for this? It's a matter of time healing a lacerated liver?
Yes, I think that's accurate.
Okay, my main question, going back to your days as a safety.
Good job, Tony.
One of the trends I've seen, we've all seen, is defensively, is the use of a third safety as the fifth DB, not the sixth like it used to be. What are the benefits of that for a defense and the consequences?
Yeah, I think you talk about what you want to be defensively. If sometimes teams will play that third safety as opposed to a smaller nickel. So some teams where their nickel back may be more of a corner type and he's going to be involved more in the run fit. You may want a bigger body. I know over the years, Andrew Sandejo is one guy that comes to mind. He's a safety that in a pinch played some nickel for the Vikings. In fact, in the playoff game there down in New Orleans, played nickel. So there are certain packages certainly where that's possible. And then, like you said, you get a 6 DB at times, and now he's playing more around the box, around the dime linebacker spot.
So could the third safety be a hybrid linebacker?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Jeff Shadell, your line's open.
Kevin, looks like you're getting Myles Garrett back too. So, and I don't know what the update is on Ogunjobi, but could you talk about your defensive line, how that needs to improve to get that run defense better than might have been last year?
Yeah, Jeff, it starts up front. So, having number 95 out there definitely makes us better. But we want to make sure that we have a wave of guys that play throughout the game and are being disruptive in the run and the pass game. But I'm a firm believer that strength along the lines really will dictate the success of your offense and your defense.
Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Coach, we did talk to Andrew Sandejo. From your experience with him, what do he brings to your team, not only as a player, but obvious leadership ability?
Yeah, I think the leadership is key. We have a lot of young players on this team, and to be able to see examples of how to do it, I think is important. Leadership doesn't have to be the rah-rah guy giving speeches every day as you walk out to practice. It can be the guy who just does his job over and over and again. And I think that's something that Andrew brings to the team.
Daryl Ryder, you're up.
Hey, Coach, quick housekeeping question for Myles Garrett. What is the ramp up for him? I would assume that he's not going to be rushed to do a whole lot here in these early stages.
Yeah, Daryl, there will be a ramp up. That always starts with individual, and then it moves towards team periods. But that is smart is the operative word as it pertains to this situation.
And I want to ask you about Baker. Now that you've had about a week's worth of practices here, observing him within this offense, could you just talk about the progress that he has made on the field now as you go through, as you called it, this teaching period of camp?
He's doing a nice job. I think all of our players, you have to remind yourself that they're running plays full speed for the first time versus an offense or versus a defense. So there's definitely going to be moments where it's not perfect. And I think Baker, just like all the other guys, we're learning. And I think he's doing a really nice job. Some of the, you go down to the red zone period the other day. I mean, we're running those plays for the first time, and he's making them work. And then there's other ones that we got to do better, at all positions. So I think that understanding that we're trying to build this thing and get the basics down is really important. And then the other note for the quarterbacks in particular is we make life hard on them in practice. And we're giving them tough looks, and we're not giving them outs in certain areas. So it's definitely a tough position to play, and we want to make sure that we simulate that as much as we can in practice.
Scott Petrick, back to you.
Hey, Coach, what's been the progression of Jedrick Wills through that first week?
He's doing a good job. He spends a lot of time with Coach Callahan. He's getting a lot of good reps versus Olivier Vernon, who's a very good player. So he's doing a nice job, and I think he's progressing every day. He's working on technique. He's taking things from the classroom to the field. I know there's certain things that Coach Callahan and Coach Peters are having him do with technique, whether it be footwork or hand placement, whatever it may be, that, he's working on things. And that's just part of his job now, is to work on his craft, and he's doing a nice job of it.
Any struggles that we might see, whether it's one-on-one and he gives up a pass rush or whatever, are those just to be expected because of the transition from right to left?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily because of the transition, Scott. I think those one-on-one drills, a lot of times you're working on technique. You're trying something out. So those are really great breeding grounds for teaching and learning. And so there's going to be good and bad in those type of drills.
Okay, thanks.
We'll make this our last question. It'll come from Tony Grossi.
Kevin, I know your team is at a different stage of evolution than Baltimore's. But I noticed John Harbaugh the other day said, in the context of a question, hey, we're just trying to get ready for Cleveland, meaning our first game. When you were in a more with the Vikings and Zimmer had been there for a number of years, do you find that yourself not able, the luxury of looking to your number one opponent in this situation compared to a more, continuous coaching regime?
I don't think so, Tony. We've been talking, right when the schedule comes out, you really talk about that week one opponent. So, we're very aware of how many days that game is away. And as much as we're teaching and learning and putting in systems, of course, we're going to start ramp this thing up and get ready for Baltimore on September 13th.